Okay, so recap vid on breaking grips. There's 7 categories. Let's look at things flat on his back. We're in the spider web position. So let's look at probably the easiest one to deal with, Dean's hand to hand. So again, this concept of going deep with my hand to keep his elbow line. I don't want his elbow below my hip. And again, I'll be coming in, but I'm also, at any stage, if I'm here and Dean lets go for a better grip, maybe to go to Madeleine grip, I can cover that. So we talked about that earlier, and now I'm straight into the juji. But if he has his hand grip, the two versions that we looked at was bringing his elbow to my hip and then bringing his hands out of the line of his shoulder. So if you think about, I want to get my chest close to his hands. Fortunately, I can't do that with his elbow in my sternum. But if I pull his elbow to my hip, now I can get that Madeleine grip, cover this, and now I'm gluing my chest to his grip, and now I can open up. The thing about going to my left side is I'm actually baiting Dean into the hitchhiker, And now he can start. Now I'm starting to play my whole game from there. We can avoid that by, if I have a choice, by going this way. So if that's the case, I'll be pulling his elbow to my forehip, okay, and then coming this side. So again, I want to get that Madeleine grip, find my bicep, and now glue my chest in, foot's tight at the hip, and now I'm just breaking that open. So that was our 2 main escapes when he was hand to hand. The other thing we looked at was when we're here, Lachlan Giles favoured also bringing his knee inside. We talked about that, and then from there, now I can glue my chest to the grip, find my Madeleine grip, and come into the juji. So bringing that knee inside was another option. So that's hand to hand. Then we looked at the Madeleine grip. So anytime then Dean switches from this grip to this grip, we'll just cover if he's hand on top for this position. So again, what am I looking to do? I'm bringing my left hand through to the far hip. This is curling back, hand comes in the mat, and the detail was I butt scoop towards his head to put a lot of pressure on that grip. And I keep butt scooping, and then I'll re-pull in and come further. And again, from there I can just push that off. And now we're straight into the juji. We also talked about if I was here and then Dean came underneath and he was actually pushing. So it's very difficult for me if I'm sitting laterally straight up, if he pushes my leg off, for me to get it back over again. So the detail is the minute he has his grip underneath my leg, I'm falling this way. And as he goes to push it off, I can bring it behind, start digging, and then bring it back over again. And then we're back into the juji. So that was just our Madeleine grips. Then we talked about if I was up against someone who was just, so that's the second category. The third category was using my legs. So if we were in this grip again, and I'm here, foot's coming back, torquing in, and I just feel I can't, a good rule of thumb is you should be able to see the knuckle line. Anytime you're starting to put pressure, you will start to see the knuckle line. But if I can't, and he's just got a death grip, I can use my feet. I can bring this foot in and start to push, and then we're in. Ideally, I'd use the one more under the armpit than the one controlling the head, because sometimes if you take the head out, he can start to move his head that way. There would be a more risk in using that foot. So that's the third category, using our legs. The fourth one is we'll go back to hand again. We looked at that triangle armbar combo. So any stage we're here, ideally I do want to be keeping this leg underneath his armpit, so he doesn't get pushing it into here and start working all that kind of escapes, which you covered before. So if I can actually drape my foot inside, is a good thing to be thinking about here too as well. So again, I can still be going for this armbar, and as I do, I'll be baiting Dean into sitting up. So my leg comes over, and now rather than trying to lock the triangle, I use my thigh to bring his head up, and then I physically lock it from here. So it's not like a traditional triangle. So the calf is on the jugular, and now I can hip in and get it, or I can still work the juji. So that's our, just turn this over. That's our fourth category. The fifth category was stopping the get up. So let's just say Dane is hand to hand, perfect, and he wants to rock the sit up. You're coming, trying to, yeah, perfect. And he really wants to take me into like the guard position. Yeah, just go it again, get to your knees this time, bro. Boom, and now Dane comes to his knees, and now I'm sort of like in the guard, and we can start to work the stack and stuff. So we talked about how the easiest way to stop that was if I start to see him sitting up, you go, I just underhook the leg. For him to get to his knees, he has to withdraw this right leg. So, yeah, go. So that's what I want. Now if I miss it, yeah, go, I can underhook the other one, try to come up. And now from there, we're still back into the same game. We also, just turn this over. We also talked about how if I completely missed the legs and he got parallel with me, and he actually got all the way to there, I can use that leg to take him down. So it was initially the high side is here, I just straighten it and push it straight down. So that's dealing with the get up before he actually gets up. Then we talked about how if he does get up, we had that spin through into the belly down armbar. Let's look at that. So let's just say Dane gets up, I have totally lost the whole position and we end up here. So we talked about how my hand comes underneath, and now the added detail was I'm looking to where Frankie is. The problem is when you go for this armbar, your head's in the way. So I keep my head looking where Frankie is, and I come up on my shoulder to create the space. I'm still looking at him, and now we have that belly down armbar. Okay, that's the fifth category. The sixth category was, you're flat on your back again, bro. The other nuisance grip Dane can make is, say I get hand to hand, you're hand to hand, bro, and then I'm just about to go for it and he grabs the inside of his leg. There, perfect. So again, the crook of my arm comes up till the end of the lever. So we a couple of methods from here. I can push down on his knee and then push it this way, and I have it. That's one way. If I try that and I physically can't get it, I can underhook the leg. And now as I take away the bite he has by actually, it looks like I'm trying to knee bar him, but as the more I straighten his leg, the more he loses that bite. And we're into that position there. Okay. So that was dealing anytime he made that grip on the inside of the leg. And then just stick on the gi there, bro. We looked at a couple of ways of breaking the grips if it was gi. So let's just say, just turn this over. Let's just say Dane's right hand's going to grab his collar here, which is one. So again, we can still use that. It's very much like the Madeleine grip. My hand's coming to here, foot's coming back, and I can start to put a lot of pressure on that grip. And now from there, I can find. The good thing about gi is I'm not concerned as much about the foot here, because with the friction of the gi, and I'm wearing a gi, it's going to be very hard for Dane to get his elbow below my hip line because I'm wearing material and so is he. So you can get away with it in gi. So now from there, I can just bring my foot in, put pressure to break that grip, cover the hand, come back in. And if he was sleeve to sleeve, perfect. It's the same scenario. So again, find that. Heel back, start to butt scoop towards it to put a lot of pressure on that, and then that foot can just find the bicep. And now I'm pushing, and we're back in. Just use Frankie so you can see all that. Okay. So, so 7 categories in that. Again, I'm not going into detail because we have separate vids on them all. So basically hand to hand. I don't want to be trying to put a lot of pressure on his grips from here just by muscling it. So we want to get his elbow out of line. Again, I prefer to go to my right side. If I take him to my left side and we're here, there's a good chance he can go into the hitchhiker escape from there as I break it. Yeah, and then we looked about how I can we've covered how to stop all that. But rather than getting into a battle that we don't wanna, and if I have a preferred side, once we're there, okay, I'm going to be taking the elbow to my left hip so I can just push that. Now I can easily glue my chest, whereas before if I'm there it's very hard for me to get my chest. I want to be connected to this grip. So I'm going to get that Madeleine grip, cover this, heel back, and then I'm just leaning this way to break open the grip. So that's our sort of two ways of dealing with hand to hand. If he gets Madeleine, we'll look at it, the hands on the outside first. So we just go deep here, heel back, pull this through as far as he can, and not butt scoop towards his butt. And now this hand, if I can see the palm of his hand, I just have that. Sometimes I might have to go, grab it again, I might have to go a few times more to get that, and then we're in. If he grabs underneath, I need to be aware that I don't want to be sitting up, because as he pushes that away, I have no real mobility from here. Under like a gymnastic or something. So the minute that hand comes there, I'm baiting this way. I'm waiting for him to push that off. I can bring it then underneath and start working my Madeleine. At any stage this comes back over again, and now we're back into the Juji. Okay, so that's dealing with the Madeleine grip. Anytime, yeah, make it again there, bro. I'll probably go for this one here where it's on top. If I'm struggling to open that out, at any stage I can use my foot to push it off, and then we're in. Or, yeah, probably the inside one would be the safer option, so I don't lose head control. That's the third category, using your legs. The fourth category, if he's hand to hand, we talked about if there's space here, because the problem area is Frankie pushing my leg between his legs. Okay, so if I can drape this inside, so I have two legs over his head, and again I'm still going to be trying to go for this, and I'll be, I might even fall to my side, which is going to bring Frankie to sit up. So I don't try to lock the triangle from there. I don't have the profile, so we actually knee him in the back of the head. So I bring his head forward, so now when I lock it, the calf is on his neck, and now I can hip in and still attack this triangle armbar combo. Okay, that's your fourth category. The fifth category was then dealing this setup. Okay, so there's a few methods from there. Anytime I see Frankie physically trying to sit up, if he actually makes it all the way to his knees, we have that last gasp one, whereby there's no real space here unless he's stacking me, so I'm actually bridging him away, coming up on my right shoulder, and the detail is I'd be looking at Dean so I can physically come through the other side. And now we're into that belly down armbar. Of course we can close that down before it happens. For Frankie to physically come to his knees, he has to withdraw this knee underneath, so I can just underhook it. And now from there I'll use my leg to bring him back down, and then we're into the same stuff again. That's if I can get an underhook on the near side leg. Sometimes he gets that withdrew very, very quickly. As he steps over, I can do it on the far side as well. Okay, and then I'll be pressing him back down from there, closing it down before it gets that far. The other thing was, if I was really late, and now he walks his feet, so he's actually parallel and I can't reach any of that, I can leg press. So my left leg presses to get him down, and then we're back into the whole fight from there. Let's move up there again, bro. That was our fifth category. The sixth category was maybe I broke this hand-to-hand grip. So he was there, and then he grabs the inside of his leg. So he makes that grip there. So my left arm is just going to come to the end of the lever. Now if I can find his knee, I'm pushing it down and then pushing it away. That's one option. Or if I push it down, push it away, and I can't, and I just can't remove that profile, he loses the profile when I straighten his leg. And now we have it again. So that's dealing with when he makes that hook grip. And then we need to look to stick the gi on there, bro. The 7th category is just dealing with gi grips. So with the gi, we don't need to worry as much about him withdrawing his elbow, the arm that I'm trying to armbar, because I would usually have a gi on and just the friction of the gi on gi. So if we looked at the first one was he actually grabs just his collar from there. So I'm still going for that one that we had, like the Mata Leon grip. I find my hip, I go deep, this comes back, I butt scoop to put pressure on it. I can lean, and now my right foot's curling on his armpit, I can get my foot into that collar. This hand's just waiting. So as I push, I cover it, and then we're back into the juchi. And the last one was he was grabbing sleeve, just the sleeve there, perfect. Okay, so same stuff, doesn't really matter. So again, from there I'm going deep, so I'm pulling that in, heel comes back, butt scoop, put pressure on that, and then that foot's coming in again, only this time I find the bicep. This hand's waiting, so as I push, I have it, and then this foot's coming back, and we're back into the juchi. So, as a recap on Lachlan Giles Armlock Anthology, breaking the grips.